Hey there everybody, so Nintendo just held their Indie World presentation today, and going into this I didn't really know exactly what to expect from this just because Indie Worlds are very hit or miss. You never really know what exactly is going to fall inside the indie umbrella. So I kind of just want to recap some of the things that I really liked, and then maybe some of the things that weren't really for me but I feel like some people out there might really like. So before we get into that video though, you guys, do me a favor, like the video if you like the video. Please consider subscribing as it does help me out tons. And with that being said, let's get to this video. The first game that they showed off was Mineko's Night Market. Mineko's Night Market is a game that I remember seeing a couple years ago. It's about 8 years old in development, I believe now. This is pretty much a fantasy lifestyle simulator game. It's very interesting as far as the art style. I think that's the best thing it has going for it. And this isn't a game that's really for me. I don't really like these style of games, but I did notice that it is a genre that's kind of growing with its audience. And a lot of people are really into this, especially people who play a lot of indie games are definitely really into these style of games. So definitely if you're interested in this game, it is coming out later this year, so keep it on your radar. The next game they showed off was My Time at Sandrock. This is a sequel to the game My Time at Portia. And I feel like when I say that this is a genre that's growing, it has a big audience now, especially in indie games. This is another example of like one of those kind of sim style games. It does have some kind of crafting mechanics, some kind of building mechanics, but pretty much it's one of those other type of cozy style games. So again, for you fans who really like cozy style video games, this is another one for you. They are aiming to drop it sometime this summer, so definitely check it out if you're interested. The next game they showed off is Played Up, and this is a game that I'm actually very excited for. I've never heard about this game until today, so bravo Nintendo for showing me something I haven't seen before. This is going to be mixing Overcooked with like a roguelike style game, and that sounds awesome. I loved Overcooked, and this is going to be pretty much following the same vein, where you're cooking in the kitchen, you make the recipes and you make the food, then you got to hand it out to the customers and kind of balance out the customer happiness with the quality of the food. So definitely sounds very stressful and very challenging. And I think the thing that's going to make it like a little bit more addicting is the roguelike aspects. I love the randomness in roguelikes. So I feel like adding that to like the Overcooked style gameplay is just super awesome. I can't wait to play this game co-op, and it's going to be dropping sometime in October. So I definitely look forward to checking this one out. Quilts and Cats of Calico was the next game they showcased. This is, for any of you guys familiar, Calico is a board game where you kind of just have to like match tiles and like rack up points. It's an interesting game. I played it with my brothers before. It's a fun board game. I just don't know how much I really want to play it in a video game. And I think it's pretty much just Calico with like a cat aesthetic added to it. So if you're interested in cats, if you like Calico, this is going to be coming sometime in the fall to the Nintendo Switch. Alright, the next game is Rift of the Necrodancer. This is a spin-off to Crypt of the Necrodancer. It's a Guitar Hero styled rhythm game with gorgeous art style. It's going to have a very interesting story that they promised. It's coming later this year. Something I thought was really cool is besides the like traditional rhythm style game that they have going on, there's like these little WarioWare style mini games in between to kind of break up the gameplay. So it looks really fun. It looks really interesting. I don't know for sure if I'm sold on this game just because I have been playing a lot of rhythm games lately, and I don't know if I want another one. But it does look really cool and really interesting. So if you're really into that, go ahead and check this one out. After that, they showed off some DLC for A Little to the Left and Shovel Knight Pocket Dungeon. So if you have those games, they do have free DLC coming to you. So definitely check that out if you're someone who's playing those games. And not to overshadow those DLCs, but Cult of the Lamb also got some free DLC coming its way, and this looks amazing. I love Cult of the Lamb, and this looks like some awesome added DLC, so I'm definitely going to be checking this one out. One of the highlights of this indie world was Animal Well. This is a game being developed by Shared Memory and being published by Big Mode. For those of you guys who don't know, YouTuber Donkey owns a game publishing company called Big Mode. I remember him getting a lot of flack for it when he kind of announced that he was going to start publishing video games, because a lot of people were like, you're a YouTuber, what do you know about video games? And if this is kind of the product that we're going to be seeing him publish, then this looks awesome. I can't wait to see what this game plays like and what else that they have working together with. All in all, this game, from the aesthetic to the puzzles, everything just looks super phenomenal, and it definitely stood out inside this indie world. So definitely can't wait for this one. It's coming out later next year. Primal Clock got my attention at first with its art style. It looked very interesting and definitely had me glued to it for a little bit. But then when I saw the gameplay, it didn't really look like it's something for me. I think there's definitely a market out there in the indie scene for people who really want to play a game like this. But it's just, again, it's not for me. So this is a new crime-solving game where it stretches across time and space, featuring cases set in eras like the Lost Age and in the cybernetic future. Events in one era will change those in another, and solving cases will change the map to unlock more mysteries elsewhere. This did get an official release date June 20th. So, I mean, if you like what you see, definitely check it out. It does look interesting. It just doesn't look like my type of game. Grade 2 is a sequel to Grade. This is a physics-based puzzle game in which you harness electromagnetic powers to make progress. It was actually shadow dropped today on Nintendo Switch, which is very interesting to see, and I almost bought it immediately when I heard that, just because the art style looks really fun and a lot of the puzzles look really cool. I still haven't made up my mind yet if I'm going to be checking it out, but I probably will most likely be checking it out. Definitely look into it if you guys are interested. They also have it bundled with the first one. Shadows Over Loathing is another game that was shadow dropped today. This is a sequel to West of Loathing. This is like a stick figure game that's set in like the 1920s. It has monsters, it has mobsters. It's very interesting. I wasn't a fan of West of Loathing, to be honest with you. This game is shadow dropped today digitally, but then they also have a physical date coming later on. If you like the first one, this looks to be more of that. So definitely check this game out if you're interested. Blasphemous 2 finally got its first official trailer today. It also got a release window for sometime in the summer. This is a Metroidvania style game, and it's going to be a sequel to Blasphemous. It's a very interesting game with its art style and its progression system. If you're really into Metroidvanias or just like platforming combat style games, definitely check this one out. I can't personally recommend it just because I never played the first one, but it does look very interesting. Something that I think got a lot of people hyped was Oxenfree 2, the sequel to Oxenfree. Finally got its release date of July 12th. This was originally delayed earlier, so it's nice to see it finally getting dated. This is a game, if you're not familiar with it, it's developed by Night School Studios and published by Netflix. It's like a story-based game where you play as Riley. This is set 5 years after the last game. It looks interesting. It looks like there's a lot of weird, like Stranger Things type of vibes going on in the game. Definitely check it out if you're interested in those type of games. Ended things off with a Sizzle Reel, which kind of sucks for me because a lot of these games will actually look like my type of games. Paper Trail was a game that's being released August 2023. It looks really cool. They also announced Brotato here, and this Brotato looks like a vampire survivor style game where you play as a potato. So it looks really cool. It's coming later this year. And then Bomb Rush Cyberfunk, a game that I've been hyped up about for so long. This is like a Jet Set radio style game. It finally got its release date of August 18th, and I'm hyped about that. And I'm just very surprised that they didn't want to take the time to show off things like Bomb Rush Cyberfunk or even Brotato, because those games look really cool, and I wish they had more time. But those are all my final thoughts on Nintendo's Indie World today. Let me know your guys' thoughts. If you guys saw something that you guys were very interested in. With that, I'll see you guys in the next video.